Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the ninth edition of the Patreon live chat. Feel free to leave your questions in the chat box and we'll get this thing rolling. Um, so I'll just start off by ranting what's been going on with me. As some of you are big followers of my YouTube channel, I uploaded two crazy videos. In my opinion, they were kind of really raw, really real. Um, and part of me still can't believes I uploaded them. I mean, the first one talking about the suicidal thoughts and like extreme depression. I mean, that's a hardcore thing for me to come out on. But part of me is like part of me's confused, It's like no one on YouTube puts out stuff like that. That's like really raw. It's like really honest. Like that's some people's like deepest, darkest secrets. And part of me is like questioning, is like, why did you do that? But the other part's just like thinking about honesty and being truthful. And thinking about how like, you know, I've already shared my life. I've already shared my life so much on YouTube that it's either I expose myself or I will be exposed in some way. And I don't know to what degree, but I felt like if I didn't share that, I felt like that was gonna be the death of my YouTube channel. I'll even I'll either turn into a YouTube channel that just wants to promote a product or service, or, you know you know, or I could just keep going and keep telling my story, which is actually what I'm all about and what interests me the most. So it was a hard decision. As soon as I filmed it, I'm like, "That's a great video. I can't wait to share it." But over the week, I was like, "This is harder and harder for me to share." But I just still couldn't continue the vlog without sharing that piece. Everything's connected with my vlogs. I'm trying to tell a story. Each video kind of connects to the other. And that was just a big part. I mean, that explains the whole reasons of why I moved. Not only to leave the business, but also to leave my home. And I had to put it out. I had to put it out straight up, and it feels good. It teaches me like how much I care about other people's thoughts. Um, I'm realizing that I need to get better at that, not caring what other people think. And to me, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna own who I am. I want to expose myself who I am. I want to be comfortable with who I am. And I think and I think sharing it has allowed me to feel like more okay with myself. It feels like I'm not fronting or I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. And I feel like people can appreciate that. I'm not gonna try to be some arrogant young kid who thinks he's the shit, but he's got a bunch of issues going on and possibly can be misleading other younger kids who are watching me. And me as an influencer, I can definitely impact their lives. If I don't give them the full truth, it could potentially negatively impact their lives. Health and exercise is extremely important, which is kind of the main principle, like, is the fundamental principles of my YouTube channel and what, I like to promote besides telling my story. Um, but I want people to understand that it's not the end all be all and it's the thing that's gonna set you free and make you happy. It's just not true. Um, so Dude, I think I'm just gonna open this up to the public just to make things fun because no one's got questions. Let me check Patreon real quick. Am I getting anything going on here? It's we'll see what happens when I open this up to the public. Should get kind of crazy. But yeah, let's just do it. Let's get uncomfortable. All right. It is now open to the public. We'll see who shows up. Yeah, another thing, are you training hard for Haleakala? Here's the deal. I'm training as much as I can, Molly. Thank you for asking a question. Um, like I'm doing my best. Right now I'm feeling like I'm not recovering as well as I'd like to be. I'm eating really clean. I'm switching back and forth with raw veganism and eating some cooked food. I'm going back and forth, getting all the nutrients I need, or to the best of my knowledge, getting all the nutrients I need. But I still feel like I'm not recovering quite well enough. And part of me wants to go and get a blood test and see what my nutritional levels are. Um, but yeah, I'm training as much as I can, as much as I enjoy. Last week I put 11 and a half hours in with some hard interval work, and it was a fantastic week. But then this week, I can't really back it up with the same amount of training volume, and I wish I could. I think training for a race like this involves a lot of intensity and a good amount of volume, and kind of wish I could do more. But I'm doing the best I can with the upcoming races. So thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm about to buy a Canyon. I'm about to buy a bike. It's gonna be the Canyon CF SLX 9.0 with rim brakes. They just restocked it. I think I'm gonna go and get one. It's a lot of money, but it'd be nice to have a new bike, and it's gonna help me a lot during the two races. Um, so this is open to the public now. Still, people are still not rolling in. Yeah, so that's kind of the deal with my training. I've been going on some run. I've been going running more just because on recovery rides, I'm like, I'd rather go out running because that just feels a lot funner to me than just getting on the bike and spinning easily. Um, it's kind of nice to work the muscle groups in a different way. Um, well, I hope you had a good holidays, by the way. I'm happy. I'm excited to train you once again. What else can we talk about? What do people want to know from me right now? One thing I gotta be straight. I gotta be honest about. Um, I got a lot of messages. I got a lot of comments on my videos. From those two really impactful videos. The one where I'm telling people I was really unhappy living down in South Point, and the moving video. I got a lot of comments flooding in. I got a lot of messages, and to be honest, like I couldn't answer them. I didn't want to read them. I couldn't answer them. It not only was it just a lot to read, it was like paragraphs and paragraphs of this stuff. People, telling me the direction I should go into, but I simply just couldn't get myself to read it. I don't, so, to be honest, I feel like part of me is like, part of me feels like I have this bad relationship with my audience, you know, because there you get a lot of negative comments, you get a lot of critiques, and it's not the funnest thing to read. So I just couldn't read those comments. But, you know, when it comes to good things, when good things are happening, I'm happy to read the comments. Are you sure it is a Canyon you want or some other bike? Are there any other bikes you can test ride? Um, no, Canyon all the way. I mean, these are world-class bicycles, and the ride feel on the other Canyon was fantastic. Um, but it was just too heavy. Big clunky disc brakes, front and rear. Um, yeah, it was just too heavy for a climbing bike. I know the Canyon with rim brake calipers is going to be incredible. I'm looking forward to it. I could already imagine like getting out of the saddle and wagging the saddle back and forth. with this lightweight climbing bike. It's gonna feel incredible. Not a lot of people are coming in for live chat. Usually the chat box would be flooding already. Surprising. Another thing that opens up a big vulnerability is like it's like what do people think about you after those two videos you put out? Could be a big deal. People could discredit me for everything that I've done. You're so flood. Thanks, vegan vlogs. I appreciate it. Yeah. So those videos could discredit me for everything I've done and everything I know, and I'm okay with that. But I like being honest, and the truth will always win. Have you ever heard of Vipassana 10-day meditation retreat? I don't know if that's something you'd be into, but I thought of it when I saw your latest videos. No, it's not something. It's not. Maybe it's something that could be beneficial for me. Hey, Jacob. Two Jacobs. What up, friends? You got this new surfboard. I, you know, surfing's like a big part of the culture here in Hawaii, and it feels good to get immersed with surfing and got a surfboard to go surf now, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Man, what else could I talk about? Um, I gotta pull up some comments. Hey, Regina, what's going on? Someone asked me a question. Let's just talk about. I don't know. I'm just gonna answer whatever. Answer some questions. Keep the content rolling. Um, if I'm going up, or so this is a cycling question. If I'm going uphill, when do I shift gears for maximum results? Should I be sitting, or is there a part of the uphill that I should be attacking and off of the seat? All right, so I'll break it down in two ways. When you're sitting in the saddle, um, you're basically trying to find a nice tempo, a nice rhythm to sustain a long effort. When you're out the saddle, being out the saddle is really fantastic for putting down a lot of power in one burst. Um, so it depends what the goal is. If you're racing, get out of the saddle to attack. If you're just cruising on a normal ride, I like to just be in the saddle and maybe just get out of the saddle just to dance a little bit. Not necessarily sprinting, but just getting out of the saddle to relieve saddle tension. Um, also, in regarding the shifting gears for maximum results, you just want to keep optimal cadence. So when you're in, so I base my shifts off of that when I'm hitting an uphill. To maximum results, I just shift gears to keep a cadence that's between 80 to 100 RPM. So that's that's the gear changes I would make. It's just based on cadence. Man, quiet chat box. Dude, this video had to hit people pretty hard. There's no doubt about that. I'll get way more questions flooding in here, but that's okay. Or it could be just a fluke, but we'll see what happens. But I might end this live chat if I get no questions. It'll be kind of pointless. It'll be kind of wasting my time. Just thinking about other things I could talk about. Nothing really. What is the significance of the wheelbarrow in your last vlog? I love that question, Molly. There is always a significance between every clip in my videos. The wheelbarrow. I was cleaning up coconut shells. So in the start of that video, um, I was basically cleaning everything up. I was just getting everything assessed before I left, and all those coconut shells and all that coconut husk was on the ground because of me. Because one time I hauled back like 100 coconuts from this guy who cleared a bunch of trees, and I brought it. I had it, I wanted to clean it up before I leave. I wanted to clean up everything before I left, leave no trace, and didn't want anyone to clean up after me. So yeah, me wheelbarrowing those coconut shells and husk was part of the story of me cleaning up and getting everything assessed. And also, I was just in that moment, you know, the night before, like, or the day before kicking that handrail, like, my body was in this weird high of recovering, right? Regina, awesome. I hope it's vegan. Hope it's a vegan sandwich. Um, in that moment, I felt really, really calm. The whole thing just kind of shocked me, and I kind of felt at peace after that. And it kind of like, you know, opened my eyes up a little bit. Um, but yeah, the whole wheelbarrow scene, I love that scene. Thanks for asking that. Is it okay to ride 4 hours fasted? If your body's adapted to it, if you function properly doing a 4 hour ride fasted, I would not do a 4 hour ride fasted if it had, you know, high levels of power output. If you were hitting climbs with your friends going for Strava KOM, sugar all the way. But if it was a 4 hour endurance ride at zone two, 75% or lower of your functional threshold power, which is just easy conversational pace, you could go and ride 4 hours fasted if you got the experience. But for beginner riders, I wouldn't recommend it. Um, Even 4 hours for me on endurance pace is kind of tough. The most I've done after, like, to be honest, after binge eating, like, a week, a couple weeks after. And that's another good thing to talk about. My friend Megan taught me a good rule. She made a cool video. Check out her channel, Megan Elizabeth, on YouTube. She talked about like the difference of why am I going between raw and cooked back and forth, back and forth? Because I might be getting some nutrients from cooked food that I might not be getting in raw foods. And and I'm really trying to hold on. I'm really trying to hold on to my guns to eat a certain way and just to stay consistent. But it's like my body likes to fluctuate back and forth. And I think the binge eating came from just like not listening to your body and not respecting that maybe it does want to eat cooked food. And instead of feeling guilty and feeling like you don't have discipline to keep eating it, you go into this binge eating behavior, and then bam, like you overeat. And so I've had episodes where I've overate and I've learned from those, and I kind of binge ate, and then like the next day I was able to do a 3.5 hour ride, like pretty much to that point. What I would pretty much to that point before starting feeling hypoglycemic, like low blood sugar. So the 4 hour ride fasted, it's gonna take experience. But for beginners, if you're just starting to ride, like fuel, 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 fuel. If your ride is over 1 hour as a beginner, just starting to ride, I consume 100 to 250 calories based on your intensity level and your weight. For me, I consume 200 calories if my ride's over 2 hours. And I've been riding for a long time. What is the most miles you rode in one day? In what day? Well, I've ridden 202 miles in one day. That's a PB, and you could see that on Strava. I have a 125 road. I have a 25-mile road race this Saturday. That's gnarly, man. I wish you the best. Definitely carve the fuck up. I hope you can take my advice on what I just answered in the previous question. But if it's it's a road race, a fast road race, be consuming around 200 calories, more or less, if based on your hunger and based on your size. And then drink about 16 to 32 ounces of water, depending on the climate, how hot it is, and how much you're sweating. How old are you? Find it very cool you try to build a business and follow your dreams. Don't worry that it didn't work out. It takes multiple tries before it sticks. Thank you. I'm 23 years old, and yeah, that business that I started with the other person wasn't necessarily my own dreams. I guess in my dreams to like move to a tropical environment, but not necessarily build a food service business. When I would work at the restaurant, people would ask me like, "Do you want to start your own restaurant?" I'd just be like, "No." The restaurant business is pretty tough. Do you miss eating steak sometime? I don't even think about steak. Not only do I miss it, when you're vegan for multiple years, these foods just don't pop up in your head anymore. The food, there's so much variety on a vegan diet. There's mock meats, mock cheeses, you know, there's so many recipes you can make. It's like everything you could possibly want on a vegan diet to fulfill your cravings for salt or sweetness or richness. It's got it all. And it's like, for me, like, I think about vegan pizza as that cheat meal. Because, even at a Whole Foods plant-based diet, you have so many options. You have like grains, beans, legumes. You still got pasta. You can make vegan, like wholesome vegan pizza, like using quinoa. It's like for me, what steak is for the beginner vegan, for me as a whole food plant-based vegan, what steak to me is like, eating a pastry or eating something that's high in oil, high in salt, like kale chips or um, processed vegan pizza. Not wholesome vegan pizza, but processed vegan pizza. So no, don't mistake. How much money do you need to survive in Hawaii, like monthly? Yes, it is vegan. Awesome, Regina. It's good to know. Um, how much money do you need to survive in Hawaii, like monthly? I don't know. It's hard to give like a general amount because your living situation can vary so much. I mean, you could work trade and get all your housing and your food situated, and you don't need any money to survive. You need zero if you're work trading. But if you want to rent a room in a house like I am, and your rent's $600 and you cost $400 to feed yourself, you might need 1,000, you know. And if you buy a property for 15 grand, maybe an acre of property, you might need $400 a month to feed yourself, and you don't have to pay any rent. But you got to build a house, you got to get a shipping container, you got to live in something. So it's going to vary a lot. But I hope that gives you a general estimate. How's Hilo? Hilo's awesome. The weather's been killer because it rains a lot here in Hilo. But once I moved here, the sun was shining. It was shining for me. I was doing the right thing moving over here, and it's been gorgeous the past week. The clouds are settling in, but the first week and a half, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I got I got a good tan. You can't really see it in here, but fantastic weather. It is very hilly. Yes, I tend to eat 2,000 calories during it, as I'll burn 4,000. Nice, man. I don't know if those are. I don't know. I can't really judge those amounts. It depends how many hours you're putting in for those rides. To let you know, like if you eat 2,000 calories during it, and I recommend 200 calories per hour, your ride must be 10 hours, 124, 20, which sounds right. Yeah. But I've tried to do a little bit of research on how many calories you should consume with adding exercise. So of course you have like recommended daily amounts for an adult female and adult male. But then adding in exercise, your calories are going to be a little bit higher. But when it comes to weight loss, in the little bit of research I've done, is that it's not necessarily to consume the same amount of calories you burnt off when your goal is weight loss. You basically want to judge it on your levels of appetite, because when you're overweight and you're eating your RDA and then you're eating the calories that you burn, and maybe you not you might you might have some extra fats. You obviously have extra fat stores, so it's like you definitely shouldn't I wouldn't recommend eating the calories you burnt off because if your goal is weight loss, you might have plenty of stores. So I'm always listening to my hunger. You know, definitely minimum of 2,500 calories, and then any extra if I'm feeling hungry. But never, I'm never really going by the numbers too much. But I've never been like an elite level athlete. When maybe that counts. But I know elite level athletes fucking starve themselves, and they're on EPO, and they're drinking tons of coffee. And they're really starving themselves. Like the eating disorders that are around cycling and professional cycling is ridiculous. These athletes are burning 4,000, 3 to 4,000 calories a day in a 21-day stage race, and they're still eating light. They're going to bed hungry. It's messed up. I'm from Belize, and the biggest ride race we have is 140 miles. Awesome, Tony. I'm having chicken right now. Then I having duck wings. Yummy. All right, man. You do you. Tintin Snowy. Hey, Geetus from Ireland. Hey, good luck on your race, Max. Did a 187-mile race last weekend in Wales with 13,500 feet of climbing. Epic stuff. Did burn 6,100 calories. That's insane, Hooter. Hope they pronounced that right, but that's insane, man. Good job. Congratulations. Yes, exactly around 9, 10 hours. And thank you, Hooter. Janet Jackson girl, hi Geetus from New Jersey. It's Chelsea from your Patreon. I'm so glad that you're doing better from your low point in your life. Would you consider becoming a running coach in your local area? Um, no. I'd want more experience in the sport of running. I could go lead. Maybe I could coach beginners, but running, cycling coaching has already taken my time up a good amount, and I feel like I still want to build on it before expanding to different areas. I certainly haven't reached my potential with coaching cyclists, and I still, in regards to getting more clients, things are still looking good. Someone actually asked me to create a triathlon training plan for them, and I told them straight up, it's like I know nothing about swimming, I know nothing about structuring swim workouts, but fortunately, this guy had. And I've never even done a triathlon. People still have faith in me to want to be that triathlon coach, and all I know is that I put immense amounts of work ethic into what I do. And I literally, sit on the computer and research a single question an athlete has for an hour. So I definitely take my athlete success really seriously, and it's amazing that someone has faith in me coaching them in the field of triathlon, and I'm open to that. Did it in 12 hours, got dehydrated a bit once a feed station was missing. Really need to stay hydrated. I went from 200 watts easy down to 120 watts. Yeah, on those long rides, it can be really easy to balk. It can be really easy to get dehydrated. I think the next thing I'm gonna start experimenting with, which I should like start experimenting with now, is like electrolytes. Even though as much water as I try to drink on long rides, I still get dehydrated rather quickly. Plus, during like races where you're like these uphill bike races I'm gonna do up Haleakala and Mauna Kea, and the month at the end of this month, and then start of August. Sometimes you get water stations, you got feed stations, but you're at your threshold and you're breathing super hard, and it's hard to get enough water for relative to the effort you're putting out. And I feel like if I got my bottles filled with electrolytes instead of just plain water, I'd have to take less sips you know, to get to the same level of hydration as just as with just plain water. So I'm gonna mess around with electrolytes. Is this your new room? Yes, sitting. It's my new room. Do you feel better? I feel good. I feel good. I realize a couple different things. Sometimes I'm always learning. And so I'm learning that sometimes I'm not very tolerable of situations or circumstances that are just not more than positive. Like when things are kind of dull and not exciting, like it's kind of tough for me. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was in high school, you know, I was able to get through school and I disliked it, but when I first started smoking weed or drinking alcohol, I wanted to do it all the time. And I think that's a big correlation to um my addictive behavior obviously, but also my desire to always be high on something and never be down, never feel like life's dull or mundane. So on days when I'm like, all right, like today's kind of a chill day, there's nothing going on. And as you guys know, I hate rest days. I need to be like more okay with those days where I'm just not doing as much. So I'm feeling better. But I think there's more to it than just moving. I'm gonna be honest again, like I'm always gonna be honest. To me, not being honest is suffocation, is like suppression, is like death. Death of this YouTube channel, and God, like that sounds so extreme, but even like death of my personality. But I just saw Miles pop in. Always get distracted by little messages, but I'll continue what I'm saying. But what was I saying? There's so much more to it than just me moving from South Point to Hilo is gonna make me happier. Again, I said like, but the social isolation was rough, was real detrimental. When I first moved in here, guys, I was just talking to my roommates, like, I talked to him for like a couple hours, and I was just so excited that I only slept 2 hours that night. I was so happy to be here and so happy to finally connect with people that I only slept like 2 hours. And that just shows like how isolated I was. It was just insane. Well, listen, I'm getting teary eyed about it because it just, you gotta listen to yourself. You gotta listen to what your body's telling you, what your heart's telling you. Watching how far you've come, it's no wonder others have faith in you. Thank you. The truth will always win. Tintin and Snowy, I totally recommend Scratch Labs hydration mix. Vegan and healthy, but a bit expensive. Got all the electrolytes and simple sugars and natural food flavor. Thank you so much for that recommendation. My friends use Scratch Labs, the VC, my friend Sean Remy. Check them out on YouTube. Um, I will try Scratch Labs. Maybe I'll order some ASAP and start experimenting with it. Or Science SIS. This one sponsorship of Team Sky with Nutrition Fuel. I think Science and Sport. I think that's what it's called. My boy, love you, bro. I'm chilling at work watching. My question for you is, how bad do you want me to smash my FTP test on Saturday? Also, you're gonna start looking at new bikes again soon. Miles, I want you to smash it pretty bad on your FTP test. It's like I just know you got fucking explosive power. So I know you're gonna put it down. You know, I, I mean, I never want it for an athlete as bad as they want it from themselves, but I know, dude, you're ferocious and you're gonna snap. And your FTP test is in 2 days. Okay, yeah. No, you're gonna crush, dude. You're gonna crush. I love seeing you do good, but I just react to what takes place with our coaching. I just react, and I love seeing great results. But whatever happens is fine with me. But I know you're gonna put down some big watts, and I am looking for new bikes, dude. I can't tell you how much time I've spent looking at new bikes. I've looked on Ribble, I've looked on Rose, like these brands I've never even heard of. I've searched like Google Shopping, searched all these things, and I'm coming down the canyon. I'm pretty much planning to buy this new Canyon bike. Canyon CF SLX 9.0 carbon rim brakes, carbon wheels. It's stealth. It's full black. it's back in my size, so I might get that one. Have you looked into getting a new bike after you return the Canyon? The one you have now looks perfectly fine though. I have the lightweight Giant TCR, quite happy with it. Yeah, Giant TCR, I fucking hate I really don't like the look of the Giant TCR. I'm really big on aesthetics. I'm really big into fashion. And some people hate on that. But for me personally, I just don't like how the Giant TCR looks. The KOM bike, like the colors are like this gross, like blue color, and I'm just like, I don't want that. It has great gearing. I wish they told you the weight of the bike, but Hoder, how do you know the weight of your Giant TCR? Does it have carbon wheels on it? I'm curious. Because some of these bike brands don't have weights for their bike. It makes it a little bit difficult. But I love Canyon because their service is so good. I don't have to go to the bike shop. I don't have to ride my bike to the bike shop. I guess that's one thing. I don't have to. What else I don't have to do? I don't know. Excuses, right? But John's just easy. It just makes it so easy. You just place the order and it comes in this perfectly packaged box. Anyway, I kind of want a Canyon still. I don't care what the haters say. CR says I totally agree. I don't know what you agree on, but I'm glad you approve. No, SIS is full of synthetic chemicals. Thank you so much for saying that before I've done my research. Marcus Mikawa, I've always been wondering how old are you? I'm 24 and it seems like you've done more life than I have. I love enjoying watching your videos a lot. Yeah, I'm 23, but I think it's really unproductive to compare what you've done to others. Even though I'm hypocritical of that, I do that all the time. But never let it get you down. Like if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40, like we still got so much time, guys. Like our life started when we got out of high school when we're 18. We still have so much time to do things. Like we got so many years ahead of us. So never be like down on how old you are and what you accomplished because you got a lot of time, my man. And I'm saying that at 23 years old. Influenced by Gary Vaynerchuk. It doesn't matter where you move, you'll always be with yourself, for sure. That's a great point. Artificial sweeteners with known adverse health effects. Okay, right on. Are you going back to Chiang Mai next year? No, man, I'm done with Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai feels so washed up to me. Like with the scandals and the terrible things that happen with our community there, it is done. It is washed up. For me, I mean, from my perspective, it's washed up. Even though it's a good place, it just like the place last year just kind of gave me a weird vibes. Gave me the creeps to be honest. But if you've never been there, it's nice to go check out. But I'm gonna go travel somewhere else. I've been there 2 years in a row, so I'm gonna go. If I go travel, it's gonna be somewhere else. And it's like it feels weird to travel to one place that people vacation frequently to another because I live in Hawaii, and it's like it feels crazy to go to Thailand. When I went to Thailand from Hawaii, I was just like, why am I leaving this place? But yeah, that's just my honest opinion there. Hey, it's good to hear you. Are you taking any supplements for your joints, knees, and hips? No, I don't have any joint pain, knee pain, hip pain. I get sore, but I never really risk injury. I'm just so consistent. I think consistency helps the most with recovery and with tolerating joint pain and minimizing it. I think strengthening the muscles around your knees and your joints, etc., is going to be the most important part. And being consistent and progressing gradually, I think, is going to be the most beneficial thing for recovery and minimizing injury. Have you had any realizations yet? Yeah, man, this whole live chat is realizations. My giant TCR isn't the most expensive one. Is 7.3 kilograms with Giant's own carbon wheels. I'm looking for something under 7. I'm looking for a 6.5 kilos like that Canyon Ultimate. You are a darn excellent athlete and person, and I have faith in you. Community, a great purpose, and a spiritual relationship, not religious nut. With God will greatly benefit you. You're inspiring. All right. Thank you very much. We obviously have different personalities and different ways of looking at things, but thank you for that positive comment. Beavis, it's no lie to say that you and Chris Froome have been two strong influence. Being in the same sentence with Chris Froome, can't beat that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I would. I'm more impressed by Chris Froome, but we'll see. Maybe I can get up to no. Have you been vegan your whole life, and what is the best benefit you can have out of being vegan? What is the best benefit? I mean, you can save 100 animals' lives in a year. Like, imagine, it's like I think it's around 100. I'd have to Google it, but it's a certain amount of animals a year. Imagine like having the opportunity to stop a man slitting a cow's throat like 100 times, or like when it comes to chickens, like saving like 50 chickens getting their throat slit that want to live and that might feel pain. I'm not sure how well chickens compared to cows can feel pain, but these are creatures that sense pain, sense fear, sense all these things. So I'm sure they have a nervous system, but like I think that's the greatest benefit, to save animals' lives that want to live. And then, of course, there's so many more benefits regarding health, environmental impacts, spiritual growth. There's a whole lot of benefits, but that's the biggest one, I'd say. Saving multiple animals' lives is huge. Working on flexibility is key for cyclists to prevent injury. Right on. I've tried doing research on that. I feel like stretching. I've only seen stretching. Stretching doesn't prevent soreness. I've heard even like stretching doesn't really prevent injury. It just increases flexibility and feels good. That's as far as I've gotten. But anecdotally, I found one time I pulled like something in my quad, in my thigh after a run, and it's like a run where I didn't stretch and I just sat in the car straight away. And then I kind of felt like I pulled a muscle, but I felt like if I stretched in that scenario, it wouldn't have happened. So sometimes, yeah. So it depends. There's always science and there's always anecdotal evidence. So it's two things to look at, but always listen to yourself. Keys and Frooming in the same sentence. I know it's funny, Miles. I wish I was up to this caliber. I have a swollen Achilles tendon since I get my weekly miles up. It's not hurting that much. Any ideas? I back off on the cycling a little bit, my man. Um, I've had personal actually injuries, strains with my Achilles tendon not too long ago. I feel like I was overtraining. I was a little bit too stressed out with my work-life balance and just my life in general. And I kind of like tweaked my Achilles tendon one day. Oh, I rose my saddle was too high. It was a big part of it too. So make sure your saddle's dialing correctly. If you just subjectively dialed it in using, a certain method, I'd rather take it to a bike shop and have them like use the ruler and measure out your leg dimension from your hip to your ankle. And then plus maybe like if you're still feeling pain, like maybe run a little bit or go swim and just take that, you know, sports specific injury and try a different sport just to kind of like relieve stress out of that certain movement with that joint, with the Achilles tendon. That would be my best recommendations. That's what helped me heal my Achilles tendon pain. I just cross trained, did a different sport, and got my saddle height dialed in perfectly. Order, good night. Way past my bedtime here in Denmark. Whoa, 1:43 a.m. I have work tomorrow. Great seeing you here. Thanks for joining in, Hoarder. You're the man. Thanks for the advice on the. I don't know. You gave me some advice. I feel like I forgot what it was. Tintin and Snowy, Veggie, work on your flexibility. Check knee pain explain website, but let the thing rest for now. Don't stretch a painful, injured thing. That's correct. I would agree with that. I feel like when I used to have when my meniscus really used to flare up, and when I thought stretching and yoga would help it, it actually kind of hurt it more. So I would agree on that subject from my own personal experience. Isometric exercises are great for tendon injuries. Search engine Dr. Jill Cook, a tendinopathy expert. Okay, isometric exercises. All right, guys. The chat box is starting to run low on questions. If you wanna, I got like 10 minutes left to finish off this 1 hour Skype call. You got any questions, comments? Holler at your boy while you got time. Video soon to come. I'm making a vegan grocery haul video. New vlog coming soon. Cause when all my vlogs tie into the story. Once I moved in here, I'm basically restocking my pantry, my fridge, everything. So it's like, I did like a legit vegan grocery haul, bought spices and all these things. So expect that video. It should be a really helpful video for, you know, beginners going into a vegan lifestyle. Would a body massage or a chiropractor help for recovery? I haven't done the research on it in the science, but pro athletes get a massage after every single race, and sometimes after every single workout in during training camp. So body massage seems, yeah. I would have to say yes, no doubt, 100%. Chiropractor help for recovery. I don't know anything about chiropractic practice for recovery. But I know body massage all the way. Leg massage, targeting the muscle groups you just stressed, 100% beneficial for recovery. Did you go cycling today? No. I was up all morning looking for a bike and then it started raining. So after this, I think I might go for a run for a ride. Just get the body moving. I hope you got your workout in. But I've been trying to get my workout in the morning. So then for the rest of the day, you're kind of sitting with good vibes. So gotta get back into that rhythm. How do you discipline yourself to do endurance pace rides? I always want to go faster. I wouldn't discipline yourself if you want to go faster. Um, if you want to go fast, go fast. If you want to go endurance, go endurance. But you know, you always get greater adaptations when you're riding at a faster pace. On the days that I want to go fast, those are the best days to go fast. But also, there's this, you know, so let me explain this. So zone two endurance, you have certain adaptations. Zone three tempo is usually the zone that people like to get into when they say they want to ride fast without any structure. It's a comfortably hard pace that's easy to be in while you're riding with your friends, or you just want to like feel like you're riding fast. Now, of course, zone three tempo has more adaptations because it's harder than zone two. Um, but the thing is that I believe it produces more physiological stress riding at zone three tempo. Um, so zone three tempo is a good zone to train in, but you know, I wouldn't always like try to ride fast all the time, like day to day. At zone three, you're just not going to get as much benefits when you're floating around between zone two and easy pace and up to a zone four threshold and above threshold and neuromuscular power zones. So I try to avoid zone three, but just on the days you feel like going hard, go hard. On the days you go easy, and then use a power meter to gauge all that. Make sure you're in the right zones. Are you eating fully raw still? No, I'm eating some cooked food. I've just been intuitively eating, but now feeling like I'm feeling like the right way for me to eat is periods of fully raw and then periods of cooked food. And I feel like sometimes I'm lacking nutrients, so maybe like there's something in the cooked food that I need to eat to get those nutrients. Um, And, like, when I reach a point where I just feel like, okay, I'm just eating just out of enjoyment because cooked food is stimulating and tastes good, it's like, okay, it's like now it's time to bring in the raw and just be good on the raw. And then when I start feeling like I want to eat cooked food, need some more sustenance, need some more power, then I bring in the cooked food, and I bring in the beans and the high protein foods. But I'm kind of going back and forth, and you know, as much as I'm trying to stick to one discipline, maybe the right thing for me is going back and forth, like my body's trying to tell me. Andreas Rodriguez story. Thanks for commenting, Andreas. I appreciate it. I've had a hamstring tendon injury for a month. Been doing isometrics and negatives, but still no luck. Pin and needle pain. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know anything about the hamstring tendon injury. Yeah, I can't really give advice on that. I haven't experienced that, and something I've never really heard of. It was here in England too, as usual, and it was very windy due to a storm, so no riding today. Yeah, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. We're not pro riders, and we don't have to get out there in the rain, but it's always nice to get a workout in whatever period you can find with dry conditions. What kind of exotic foods are you looking forward to eating at the Canada Fruit Festival? Um, I think dude, when you live in a tropical environment, you fall in love with mangoes, papayas, apple, bananas, all the tropical fruits. I actually, when I go to the mainland, I look forward to the peaches and the nectarines and the local fruits. Just the nectarines. I love nectarines. It's a bummer they don't have them here on the islands, or at least good quality ones. Imported stuff tastes like crap. I can't afford a power meter and use heart rate instead. I see. What power meter do you use, and has it proven to be reliable? Um, what power meter do you use? I use a Garmin Vector 2S pedal, one-sided. It's been extremely reliable. I feel like the data has always been consistent. It's a fantastic power meter. Also, a power meter I highly recommend looking at is called Powerbeat. Watteam.com. Powerbeat. Phil Guyman just recommended this new power meter I've never heard of. Phil Guyman is a ex-professional cyclist, kind of turned YouTuber, turned into social media, cycling influencer, and he's got great expertise with product and training. He recommended a power meter called Powerbeat by Watteam, $250 one-sided power meter. That's like half the price of the Garmin Vector 2S pedal, which I own, and which is like a previous year's models of Garmin's. You do have to buy a compatible crankset with it, but the price is just amazing. Highly recommend looking into that. Got to be honest, I haven't trained much with heart rate. Um, yeah, I've just never really trained with heart rate. The hype around heart rate and the negatives are it lags. Um, it's kind of hard to get up to that certain effort level. Well, I don't know, dude. I just haven't trained much with heart rate. I'll assign heart rate training with my athletes, but it's not. I'm telling them like I don't really train one just alone with heart rate. I make sure they get a power meter as soon as possible, but because heart rate just varies too much and there's a lag time, so it's hard to get objective with that. I'll check it out. Right on. Love your channel, man. You inspired me to start my own YouTube channel around cycling too. Cool, Chad. Everyone, check out Chad the Cyclist. I'll check out your channel too, my man. Thanks for hollering. All right, guys. 4 minutes till my hours ended up here. I think I'm gonna say goodbye. I think it's the end of this live chat. And thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for sticking with me on this journey, sharing the ups and downs and the Army Swiss knives. No, I don't have a Swiss Army knife. What would you think is worth living? Would you think it is worth living in Hawaii? I know people say they want to live there and it depends on what you do, but generally speaking, I don't know, man. It really depends what you want. Depends what you seek. If you love your family and friends, stay around your family and friends. if you're like if you really don't like if you really don't like cold climates and you want to train all year round, maybe move to Southern California or somewhere drier because it does rain a lot here. I mean, it's a special place. Hawaii's a special place. There's a lot of culture behind it, and sometimes you kind of feel left out. So, but when you're in your community, you're in your hometown, like you get that sense of comfort. But there's pros and cons. Hawaii's like Hawaii's nice, you know. It's a vacation spot. It's really pretty. Lots of waterfalls, beaches, epic climbs, but not a big like community. Not a big vegan community. Fortunately, I'm with the small vegan community that exists here on the Big Island, and not a big cycling community. Like you know, there's some triathletes in Kona definitely, but when I'm there, I don't see too many. I guess there's a bit of a athletic scene there, but there's pros and cons. But you got to figure out what you want. But I hope that answers your question in a general fashion. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace. This live chat is going to be recorded on Patreon. If you want to support me, you can see it there. Peace.